Hello, everyone. It is week 5 here in Excellency Mid-League, and teams are starting to solidify their holds in the rankings. Today's featured matchup will be Glacial Mingos, currently 2nd, versus Degenerate's Exiles, who are currently 9th. I am Sulpan, joined on the desk by Shibby, and the only question left on my mind is, when do the Mingos play?
When do the Mingos play? And you know, Sulpan, it's just very glad to be reunited with you. Been gone for 2 weeks. The combo has been missing. You know, they only got part of it, but now we're finally back together, and we're going to see Glacial Mingos, like you said, versus Degenerate's Exile. And honestly, for me, this is a game that Degenerate needs to win. They are 9th place in the standings. If they can come out with a 2-1 or even a 3-0, they can jettison themselves up into that top 6 area where, you know, they'll make the playoffs, right? Because if, for anybody that's tuning in or doesn't know, Excellency's playoffs rules is that the top 6 make it, with the top 2 getting the bye, and the bottom 4 obviously do not make it. There's no play-ins, nothing fancy like that. So really, I'm looking to Degenerate's Exiles to pull something out, a rabbit, a pigeon, whatever you want to call it, out of their hats.
Yeah, I mean, whatever you can do, get some kind of funky pick in there. I know that's kind of the Glacial Mingos style, but if either of these teams can find a way, if Degenerate's Exiles can find their wins here, like you said, it will be massive. They get into the middle of the pack, they go for those ties, they can play for tiebreakers, and really look to move in, I mean, even up through the rankings and move towards those like 3rd or 4th seeds. We are in the draft here, though, and we're starting off with a Nocturne ban from the Glacial Mingos, who are beginning the series on the blue side.
Yeah.
He's disgusting. Honestly, I kind of abused him this last patch. He is one of the best junglers in the game, I think, solidly. Just because of the survivability he has. The passive change, the slight buff he got, is a massive increase to both his clearing speed and his dueling potential, so no surprise to see this ban here. There is, however, a new dark technology demonic embrace jungler on the table that I think is also giga busted, and that's a Mumu. The 2 Qs giving the sticking power is crazy, and I would not be surprised to see either of these teams pick him up. Yeah, I mean, the base images alone are absolutely insane, and just the single target lockdown, which isn't something that you normally associate with that move, is now massive, because he banish tosses to you once, gets his combo in, ults, banish tosses again, and it's a full 3.5 second, I think, in total lockdown on one target. So he doesn't even have to necessarily play for those giant game-changing ultimates, he can just play for that single pick. Answers on the other side, we do have the Kha'Zix and the Tristana locked in here, so looking to play that carry jungle style. I'll see what he can do, though, with that Azir in the mid lane. I mean, it's not like he's going to have a lot of power there.
Yeah, the mid 2v2 is looking pretty weak right now, as Degenerate's going to go with the Corki Trundle, so this is really weird. Both of these mid laners are pretty, you know, happy farming in. I mean, Azir Corki is a matchup that we've seen time and time again throughout, you know, mid lane seasons and professional play, as long as these champions have been out and have been relevant. Some people say it's Azir sided, some people say it's Corki sided because of the scaling. It gets really weird once you hit that mid to late game spike, and because of the new mythics that come in, it just really depends on who has the better positioning, who has the objective setup. I would say I would favor it just for Kha'Zix because of that single target damage and just that isolation that he can get. If he jumps Trundle, there's not much he can do. Trundle really only has one combat ability with his Chomp, as we see the Caitlyn being banned out from Glacial Mingos onto Degenerate's Exiles side. And really, the tail of the tape for Degenerate's Exiles is I feel like they really like running these double AD carry compositions or these late game scaling kind of, we're going to know the game's going to go late, just kind of the tail of mid league has been. And they're willing to just scale it out and really try to win team fights later on.
Last and final bands getting locked in here. Kind of feels like Glacial Mingos wants to abuse bot side here. Is Ezreal and Caitlyn two of the safer picks, I'd say. Caitlyn just because she has that lane presence, Ezreal just because he, obviously Arcane Flux gets you out of any kind of trouble there in the bottom lane. But I'm expecting a very aggressive bottom lane here now from the Glacial Mingos, and I'm curious to see what they'll pick up to take down this Varus, which has already had the Thresh combo banned out.
Yeah, I mean, they could still go things like Alistar, Leona's still up on the board. It's really hard right now because I don't think anybody really knows who counters Amumu, right? It does take a week or two before people start figuring out. I would say the same thing happened with Rel, where she was really, really OP, and then people started picking Alistar into her, people started picking Thresh into her, and they realized, oh, she's actually not that busted. You can counter a lot of her engage. It's Amumu's engage and Amumu's tankiness and his ability to pick people off that is going to throw off a lot of bottom lanes and a lot of matchups right now because nobody's used to playing Amumu bot. But Rakan being locked in is actually really nice, allows for that mobility, allows him to get in and out of fights and, hopefully juke Amumu's ankles essentially before he can really do anything.
This composition feels all in. You got Rakan just flying forward with the extra mobility of all these other carries that are going to provide to him that ability to just dash around a team fight. Some good lockdown as well on Glacial Mingos. But more importantly, just every single one of these champions just wants to be in your face and has the ability to get there. Ooh, Dex, on the other hand, I feel like has drafted a really solid composition against this. You have a Amumu ultimate for disengage as well as the corrupting chains. A lot of combo potential here, actually. I mean, Diana being the final pick up will be going
jungle.
Right? I mean, Trundle top into the Scion with Amumu support. Yeah. So
that's a nice flex.
Yeah, they have a lot of options here with this team comp, right? I mean, Trundle has a very obvious target for that subjugate. You have Corki in the mid lane who's just going to be kind of farming it out against the Azir. But I really do like the team fight here from Dex.
Yeah, it's a deceptively tanky composition coming out from Degenerate's Exiles side, right? You don't expect Trundle and Amumu to be super tanky, but when he has his tantrum on, when he has the W on, he's doing percent damage, and as you know, Trundle's subjugate's going to take out, 40% of the armor over 6 seconds, NMR, so he has Scion to really just take everything and dish out damage as well, because he's going to probably build Divine Sunderer into Wit's End and then get a little tankier. So the front line from Degenerates is nothing to scoff at, in my opinion. And you have a lot of damage coming out from their side with the Varus, with the Corki, with the Diana. Their comp is very 5v5, team fight orientated. Some people might meme and call it a Bronze Zodiac composition because you're just clicking R, but recently, I feel like in this season alone, clicking R compositions have been very, very successful, even at the highest level. And for Glacial Mingos, I feel like Kha'Zix is gonna have a very hard time isolating somebody out and really getting the damage he needs done. I feel like he's gonna be on the sidelines just looking to jump on somebody at the end of fights rather than potentially getting a pick in the side lane or a pick here and there and being able to just kind of 5v5 brawl. So I like Exiles composition, but if they fall behind early, it's not going to look good for them because Glacial Mingos will just run them over with the Tristana, with the Kha'Zix, and they'll be able to get to objectives first. They'll just out-tank them with the Scion. So it's up to Glacial Mingos to secure that 1.5 to 2k gold lead at around the 10 to 15 minute mark. And if Degenerate's Exile just survives laning phase, gets to the second, third dragon, I feel like they have a very, very heavy team fight advantage.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to be happy to try and take those fights around the Dragon Pit, so I think it's also essential that they play for early Drakes here. They're going to have troubles getting shelved against the Tristana, I think, just in that bottom lane. I mean, she's always going to be pushing in. You do have Varus for some wave clear, but I guess Amumu offers a little bit too. I'm still also learning how the support plays out in that bottom lane, so I'll have to see if they can get the shove. I mean, they couldn't just open up the map and allow this Trundle to just take objectives and then force Mingos into those team fights later on, like you said, around that third or fourth dragon.
Yeah, it's super difficult to also engage onto Amumu. His counter engage is just so disgusting, right? He probably has one of the better counter punches in the game early on because of, like you said, the double Q. I believe it's on a 3-second timer once you cast the first one into the second one. And his W and E and the Aftershock proc just allows him to be...
And the other problem with the Mumu support is, of course, the inability to engage through a wave. Rakan has that option, Leona has that option. A lot of supports have that ability to just walk through a wave and then hit their engage abilities through it. Mumu has to play around it, and of course, the bottom lane can just reflect him. I think it's the best way to put it, and just kind of match where he's standing with the minions, so that the minions are always between him and that potential bandage toss engagement.
Yeah, and I expect Glacial Mingos to really move their support around across the map and really roam heavy. I think that's one of Amumu's kind of weaker points pre-6 is that his roam, he has, it's almost like a jungler gank where he has to just make sure you don't have vision, or he has to go through like a certain bush, whereas Rakan can like come from lane, come from the back, E onto you, W forward, E back. He has a lot more options to get sneakier roam ganks off than Amumu pre-6, and the lockdown from Rakan pre-6 is just much better because of it's a knock-up, and he has a little bit more damage, a little more oomph coming out. My question is, you really only have one champion on the side of Degenerate's Exile to reach this Azir. All right, it's going to be that Varus trying to poke. I'm assuming most likely he's going to go that Duskblade of Drakthar kind of poke build. But if Azir, gets his items, he's allowed to set up in team fights. He can really just hit the front line of DEX with relative safety and go untouched. So I want to see how they're going to navigate to this Azir during these team fights.
I think you're going to have to keep an eye out on Sovereign and Fruit Loops. I mean, Curse setting up that extra magic damage onto the Azir, really any target that this moment ends up touching, could also be massive. I mean, Corki, Diana will both benefit from that massively. I don't think Varus has very much AP that will benefit from that, of course, but 2 targets on this team are we very happy about the extra 10% of magic damage they'll be taking. Could end up doubling that, of course, if he does go the route of, it's not Demonic Embrace, it's the
Abyssal
mask. It's Mask something. Yeah, thank you. Abyssal Mask. Which will give them that extra damage onto those targets as well.
Yeah, I think the build path has been lock it into Abyssal Masters because, like you said, it's the extra damage on top of another extra 10%. And if you lock somebody down, that magic damage can be super, super unsuspecting. Because most people on Glacial Mingo's side aren't going to be building MR other than the Scion, right? And if you're Tristana, if you're Kha'Zix, if you have to build MR, if you have to kind of pick up a Maul, or in Tristana's case, have to pick up a Wit's End, it can feel a little bit clunky or not as comfortable, specifically because Tristana is more of like that crit AD rather than that super, on hit heavy style. So if they do have to pick up MR, it's going to be unfortunate. It's going to stunt their build path, stunt their damage, and you're facing that against a Corki Varus who will just love to just build their items, right? Divine Sunderer tier or Triforce Corki I've seen, and then you have a poke Varus coming at you with most likely lethality. So. It'll be interesting. I think the key to victory for Degenerates is just getting that objective set up, those early dragon fights, like you said, and for GM, it's just securing that early 1,000, 1.5k gold lead with the lane prior that they should have in that in that top lane and in that bottom lane. It looks like.
Well, if you can't tell by the amount of analysis we just done here, Shivy and I are very excited for this 5v5 explosive team fight match coming up. Don't touch that browser. We'll be right back with Game 1 of Glacial Mingos versus Degenerate Exiles. Stay tuned.
Oh, are we clear, Jimmy?
Hello?
I don't know if we're clear. The stream is still up.
Begins commence. It is Glacial Mingos on the blue side up against the Degenerates Exiles, clawing their way, trying to find a win here to solidify some rankings in the playoff contention standings. I am Sulpan, joined by Shibby, and we got an explosive one ready for you.
Yeah, and just a standard 5-point defense, unless TJ Lanier is going for some sneaky stuff into this bot lane right now. I mean, that guy should be top, unless... Are they really going to do a lane swap here? I mean, are we back in 2014, 2015?
He's bush cheesing.
So, I guess he's bush cheesing into the bot lane, but will it work out?
I have actually seen this before. I literally had this happen in a solo queue game recently. The Scion went bot, stays in this bush, maxes out a level 1 Q to just pop up the enemy bot lane. It's an insane amount of harass they can get down, and it usually blows at least one summoner. And, you know, just being TJ Lanier here, he's happy to play that weak side. He'll just tank this loss on that wave, TP top, and just be happy to get his bot lane ahead.
I mean, in theory, he might not really lose anything, right? He could possibly lose maybe 2 melees, like you said, or maybe 3 melees. But yeah, TJ Lanier, no stranger to the weak side. And I've seen this guy Scion before. This guy likes to go full lethality. I don't know if he'll do that again. But it looks like he has the runes to really go for that full tank Scion that we usually like to see. But yeah, question mark pings going out to TJ Lanier from his own team. They're wondering why he's there. I would love to pan to this bot lane.
Okay. Here it comes.
Oh, he's getting the double knockup?
You are the bears with the double knockup plus the bomb. He's already dead.
What?
It works out perfectly. I have not seen cheese like this in a long time, but I can't believe it paid off for them.
Yeah, cheese like that is in my fridge. So, Pan, it's not in League of Legends, I promise you that. He's gonna actually absorb some EXP as well, canceling his recall, doing a lot of interesting stuff, getting the shove on. Chandler Kark actually got that kill as well, so they'll get like a cool little cheater recall, be able to back with possibly an item advantage. Most likely gonna pick up a longsword and an extra couple bots. TPs to that top lane, like you said, is actually down a level, 8 minions down, but I don't think that's any issue because he has the assist, has a little bit of gold to shore up that CS and gold disadvantage into that top lane, and yeah, he's just hit level 2.
Yeah, my only worry was that on that TP burned, he was going to be right on top of the trundle if he went to the wave itself, and actually doing just that. Could have gone for the flash on him, didn't want to burn it. Knows that TJ Lanier was also holding his flash there, so not going to pick up first blood just yet, but that was the risk, of course. You go top laning against the trundle, you're in the wrong spot on the lane, and immediately Adam Suki's here on the response. Innovative picks, gets dropped extremely low. Sovereign's here to answer, gonna dash forward on Asuki. Dashes twice, Adam Suki dropped very low, might be forced to flash the wall here. Will Sovereign follow? No. Happy to just Swantek is already here, and like we predicted, Glacial Mingos do not disappoint as Dimension Extension Exiles will answer with a run with their own cold boxes here. Will almost he'll drop TJ Lanier, now channeling onto Corky, will be the full charge Q once again. He'll drop. 2 kills go over. Adam Suki dries in the process. They lose double buffs, but gain them almost, I think, immediately back here. Scion did pick those up there in the top lane. TJ Lanier happy to find a kill for himself.
Find a kill, find double buffs for himself as well, and Trundle going with the call back as well, so really just respecting this double buff, but I don't think he's going to have any time to farm as Nick Swantek is going to be trading onto Callbox. Yeah, Callbox also went into that inspiration tree. You can see when he used the pot right there, it instantly gave I believe half of the health back immediately. So very interesting rune choice on their side, but overall 3-1 Glacial Mingos, 500 gold lead so far. That's pretty much just that first blood gold lead that they got because of just the CS differentials and just CS differentials on the side of Glacial Mingos, and they're behind almost every lane, I would say, or every role.
Why are you so boring?
I think it's bigger for the Mingos than it actually appeared as well, because right now Corky has lost his flash and Innovative Pix has lost his flash. When you play Kha'Zix jungle, you're not really playing to get your laners ahead, you're playing to get ahead yourself and then look to just snowball the game off of insane lethality damage on those isolation picks. So he's going to make return ganks, I bet, towards this mid and top lane very soon, try and get another kill, and this could start the snowball on this Kha'Zix.
And we really just see the priority about both of these teams, right? You look at the bottom half of the map, it's littered with red wards, right? You have red scuttle taken, you have 2 red wards, Tri and river warded, you have Raptors warded, you have the entrance to river warded, and you look on the top side, before the wards expire, they had Blue River warded. TJ Lanier is about to drop a ward down onto the Tri-Bush. So the priorities for both of these teams are very, very split. It seems that Sion just wants to be really safe. He wants to push his advantage, or what little advantage he can get with these double buffs. And you look on the bottom side, Fox Zero and Flute Loops want to play up. They want to play aggressive, and they want to be able to spot out Adam Suki before he can try anything.
Absolutely. Innovative picks once again. Going to find a small trade here on a TG Linear. Saving Pillar, I think, just to make sure he can stop the Q when it does come out. I like the look here from Innovative Picks. He's just trying to build a lane advantage here, and even with the Cole, which normally was really an item known for lane dominance, this Trundle is just so much stronger than Sion that he can just kind of tank it up.
Yep.
He's happy to just try and farm this one out, but he's also getting in enough harass to justify this kind of lane bully matchup.
Yeah, that interaction with the Trundle E into the pillar into the Sion Q, it just kind of negates, I would say, 70 to 80% of Sion's damage, because what he wants to do is he wants to knock you up, get his W casting while he's charging the Q, and then walk up towards you, trade, hit you with an auto, possibly a grass proc, and then just walk back. But if he can't even get the knock up or onto the Trundle, Trundle can just bite you and walk away, as he's been doing.
Yeah, getting those quick press the attack trades. Oh no, he actually doesn't have press attack. He went Conquer.
Oh,
so he's actually just slowly building up auto Q auto. Those resets. Chandler Clark and Gabe though do discover Sovereign, but no words placed. Just gonna take out the blast cone, deny that gank path, and they're happy to just walk out.
Yeah, Sovereign's got to be power farming to 6 here. Diana's not really the best jungler in terms of damage or engage pre-6. I just feel like she's kind of useless. I feel like Adam Suki just has more upfront damage. The Q, the E gap closer, the W with the slow. It's a lot more effective in these team fights early on, until Diana can get to that level 6 power fight, until she can start, flash E, QR, flash Q, ER, and really get those resets going and get that damage off. Because Diana's ultimate is one of those ultimates that if she can get more than 1 or 2 people, it just scales better and does more damage, I believe.
Yes, absolutely. And with the lockdown potential of this bottom lane, I feel like she'll have an easy time getting those off. It's just a question of, will they be in a position where their team can win the fight? Or will the Mingos find further and further on this lead, continue to just stumble these objectives, these kills? But right now, I think their Kha'Zix might just get discovered here on Dragon Sovereign. Spots him out, pulls him in, knocks him down. Smite will keep him alive just a little bit longer. Here comes the support. Gabe on the knockup flash by Sovereign, but he's got no support of his own. Suki survives, and the Dragon will not go down just yet. Will reset there. He's very low, but he's not going to die. Fruit Loops pushed in from the stream of Shuffle. Nick Swantek once more. Jumping forward is Chandler Clark. Finding the last auto. It will be the Sand Soldier. Nick Swantek picks that one up, and it's another massive win here for the Mingos.
Time out. Did you see Swantek's TP there for a second? He literally he TP'd from his mid-tier 1 to that ward, that pink or that red tri-bush ward, or the red pixel bush ward. He literally did like a 5-foot TP when he could have walked. I mean, if that's not for the cause, I don't know what is. This guy's playing for the team as best as he can. Burns the TP when he could have easily just walked 5 seconds to get in that position. But overall, really good fight from Glacial Mingos. I would say it's a bit overconfidence from Sovereign, probably feeling himself a little bit because he has level 6 and because he has that engaged. But like you said, the bot lane of Glacial Mingos is going to have that prior. They were able to show up first. Rakan's a lot more mobile than Amuma, was able to EW, and then obviously Tristana has that W jump, can really just get into fights a lot sooner than Fox Zero or Fruit Loops can. So that Dragon fight, looked bad for Adam Suki in the beginning, turned out to be pretty bountiful for them.
Yeah, I mean, just knowing his lane matchups, he knew he had prior in the bottom lane, like you said, and a big point I know is whenever you're a jungler and you see an enemy jungler soloing the dragon, especially an Ocean Dragon, which drops that slow on you want to just try and take the fight because there's such an advantage already there. The health being dropped, them not having cooldowns. So it was a smart play initially, but I think just, like you said, slight overstep here from Sovereign. We'll have to see if this one will be the same. Nick Swantek's got no Obana. Sovereign on the ward, clearing it out. Suki will get the target, has a lot of damage. No ultimate. Here it comes. 3-man Moonfall from Sovereign. Pulls in Gabe. Adam Suki will drop. That's a shutdown from the top lane. Amuma has a ride. Here comes the Unstoppable from TG Linear, but he will not find anyone, just drifting on through on the Scion, and now this Rift Herald should be going down to Degenerates.
Yeah, and they just blow for blow, right? Glacial Mingos does something amazing, and then they overstep. Flute Loop's gonna hit the bandage toss here.
it might just be enough, actually. I mean, Coldbox chunked him out. TG Linear wanted to try and find the fight and stuns him up in the bush. No way out. TG Linear drops as well, and it goes from bad to worse as the gold flips here for these teams.
Yeah, 200 on the side, or 300 on the side for Degenerate Exiles. And I think the play there actually was for Glacial Mingos just burn the Rift Herald off. I believe it was at 1600. It had one more eye proc left, so they could have eyed. They could have hit the eye, and then Adamsuki could have smited it, and then they would have gotten the Herald and secured it. But instead, they went for a pretty, what looked like a man-advantage fight, but Adamsuki just went too far forward, got bursted out immediately, right? Underestimating the Corki Diana damage, and Diana just like Sovereign just getting a 3-man ultimate. Really, it was icing on the cake for them, and Innovative Picks was able to clean up alongside Coldbox, and yeah, 4 kills now on the side of Degenerate Exiles, and they lose the Herald. That's just like a backbreaker.
Yeah, it hurts, and just kind of want to know where these plays are going to go. I'm going to guess towards top lane. It just makes the most sense to me. I mean, the Trundle already has a bit of a lead up here, got a massive shutdown, and just being a strong pick into Scion makes sense that you'd want this split push threat to be on the map and ready to take down his lane opponent.
Yeah, and he has the Divine Sunderer going. Actually, the only person on either team to have their Mythic bought and ready. So he's gonna be super strong right now, and he's probably gonna be looking to get more gold into his pocket. I would just use the top lane because it is the most efficient usage. It's at 3 plates right now. I mean, I know a lot of other teams and a lot of other people will say that you should just use it into mid to crack as much damage as you can, because mid lane's one of those turrets that is the most important before, you know, opening up the map, getting vision down. But it's not a bad play to get your Trundle, who's already, you know, dominating lane right now with the 25 CS lead, to put even more gold in his pocket, make him that much more of a split side lane pressure, and really just have nobody able to match him one-on-one, because TJ Lanier is not having a good time.
Yeah, it's just gonna be tough. I mean, this is just pretty much an insanely strong counter pick. I feel like Scion has a lot of them. Anyone who can interrupt his dash, but Trundle being able to just take away his tankiness, his only ability to really survive in this lane, just really hurts. And really expecting Innovative to continue to snowball here in this top lane.
Yeah, it's unfortunate too, because the tankier, you know, Scion gets, the more health he gets, the just stronger.
Oh, he missed Pillar! Innovative Picks, unfortunately, just gets spotted out. Sees Kha'Zix on the ward, but it's just too late with that slight misplay on the pillar. TG Lanier actually picks up an assist there in the top lane.
I'm gonna say lag on Innovative Pig's side. I mean, I would say it's not that hard of ability to land in terms of, unless the Scion's ulting you point blank, right? He definitely had a lot of time to react. I would just say he probably was just expecting his pillar to come out a little bit faster. That's just kind of shows the champion unfamiliarity on Innovative Pig's side. And, you know, if he's somebody that has played Trundle, as he played this matchup a lot, then he'd probably be able to hit that, you know, 9 times out of 10. As now, they are going to pick up this Earth or Mountain Dragon for free here. Looks like Infernal Soul will be the soul of choice for this game, so you definitely believe that each team is going to take this. That's Coldbox, solo kill.
Yeah, he hits the interrupt there, now just getting knocked back. Does proc the shield bow, still wants to try and find the fight, and he gets it. A few more autos. What a knockback there on the package. It will stop the attempted escape there from Nick Swantek, who was flashless, and he just picks that one up.
Yeah, Nick Swantek just gentlemaning that fight pretty much. That's a lot of damage.
Yeah, that's not going to be enough.
Yeah, but Coldbox had the Immortal Shield Bow, had the Mythic, you know, item advantage onto Swantek there, right? Swantek sitting on pretty much just a Lost Chapter. He's sitting on the components for his Mythic, but Coldbox was able to edge that fight out simply due to the Immortal Shield Bow. They are actually going to use it for guaranteed damage and plates onto the mid lane. So yeah, that's definitely an option. Getting that damage down early, you know, knocking it down to half health will allow it to have an easier siege on the side of Degenerate Exiles as the game goes further.
And not just that, I mean, that's 3 kills now for Coldbox. He's really feeling himself this game with that solo kill there. Now having plate money on top of that, this next back is going to be massive for them. And I'm now starting to wonder when we're going to see the Corki Roam start to come out. I mean, package is so good at just quickly making that move towards that bottom lane. Allowing, I mean, just because he has all this damage now on this kit, I'm really expecting him to be the one to be making plays for Degenerate's Exiles.
Yeah, he is looking very strong. Once he gets that tier stacked up as well into Romana or Manamuna as Flute Loops, just saying hello, pretty much. That's all that's happening. But yeah, I don't know. It's it looks like it's a very, very even game, but the thing is, the whole point of Mingos comp was to get ahead early, because now, if you're even or even slightly behind a comp that scales as hard as Degenerate Exiles does, it's going to feel really hard to try to engage onto them. It's going to feel really hard for Kha'Zix to try to even isolate and burst somebody out, because there's so much return damage coming in.
Yeah, I mean, Kha'Zix is one of those champions that also really struggles while behind, and they just, like we mentioned in Jam Select, there's so many options for counter engage here. If that Kha'Zix tries to jump in, you just have the chains, you have the Amumu ultimate, you have the Moonfall, so many things that could just keep him there and hold him in place and allow this rest of the team to just burst him out. It's just a dangerous team comp to try and jump into, which is why I was kind of surprised to see him picked up so early.
Yeah, it's also the fact that they just locked their mid lane in so early as well, right? Allowing them to be counterpicked, allowing a comp to be designed to, you know, hopefully deny Swantek. And, you know, I wouldn't say the champions in of itself really inhibit or not inhibit, sorry, don't allow Azir to do what he wants to do. Is just that long range poke, that long range kind of poke and sustain damage. It's just going behind and trying to face up against this Corki, who now has an Immortal Shield Blow, who's now, you know, a significant amount of gold ahead of you. Whenever you are at a fight with him, he's just going to be pumping out more damage. He's going to be able to jump onto you with package, like you said, with Coldbox. And anytime you're isolated, anytime you're alone, even if you have the Stream of Shuffle ready, the ultimate ready, it's not enough, because he has 2 gap closers, a lot of burst damage coming out, and he's able to solo kill you out, just like what happened earlier.
Suki finding some counter jungling here, stealing away a few camps. Here comes Sion. TG Lanier goes underneath the tower, just flashes out. He's just testing the waters. Gonna try and take the Raptor camp, but then we'll spot this one out. He got the small ones, which will give him some HP, so not all is lost. Although ult and a flash for some permanent Sion HP, I'm not sure it's worth it.
He's just stopping by saying, you know what, I could ult you guys, I could kill you right now, but I'm gonna dip out. He wanted to get some chicken. He ended up getting the small raptors, didn't get the big one, but yeah. I mean, you got to be wary of TJ Lanier. He's gonna do stuff like that all game, all series. He's not, you know, he's not fearless, or he is fearless. He's not somebody to back down from using a Sion ultimate as Adam Zuki.
Hey, he's just looking for the solo kill here, but I'm gonna find it. I'm not sure. He ended up opting to jump when he was almost in auto range. I'm not sure if that was the play to make. I think he could have held that a little bit longer, but in the end, good escape here from Coldbox, able to keep his shutdown gold in his pocket and not giving that one over to, again, a very snowbally champion.
Yeah, and Corki is about 2,000 gold up right now, if you were to look at the graph. Or my bad, sorry, about, I would say 14 to 1,600 gold, depending on what, you know, CS he's getting and everything, which is really super far ahead from his counterpart. While on the side of Glacial Mingos, Chandler Clark is about 1,100 to 1,200 gold ahead of his counterpart. So it's a battle between who can carry harder in the case of Corki versus Tristana, and Tristana opting in for that Gale Force as well. She's gonna lose out on that Kraken Slayer damage they usually go, as the dragon is being taken uncontested from Glacial Mingos.
But teleport from TG Lanier comes out a little bit late. Not gonna find anything, but might be able to protect Chandler Clark in the bottom lane, who forced away from the tower, manages to get it low. Would be Mingo's second, but we'll have to see if this Corki package comes into play as well. He's hiding in the wings here, just waiting for someone to step forward. TJ Lanier will be able to target, will cut him off with the fire there on the ground. Gabe will find the knockup onto the backline. Sovereign gets blown up. One more Q will do it. They can't find the Tristana from the backside. Chandler Clark has arrived, and now they're on the back foot. Fruit Loop's gonna have to be forced to flash out. Attempted shuffle will go wide, but the knockup is good from Gabe, and TJ Lanier will charge a Q and allow the Mingos to walk right on into it. 2-3 kills to get there for Mingos, and solid play all around as they get the tower on top of it.
Yeah, that was not the kind of fight that Exiles should be opting into, that separated kind of like two fighting on two fronts kind of way that they did. Their team comp is very, very relied on just scrapping an open area, getting all 5 members down, and really setting up your front line and your back line effectively and efficiently. But we kind of saw Sovereign try to engage, get really low, then he flashed out, so he couldn't get the knockup or the damage out. And then Flute Loops on the other side. Coldbox and Fox Zero were on a different side of the map, so it was a very fractured fight. And if you're on Glacial Mingo's side, that's exactly what Kha'Zix wants, right? He wants you guys to separate. He wants the team to split up, and he wants to get that isolated damage out. And Swantek pretty much went untouched during that whole fight as Channel Clark was just getting researched with her W.
Yeah, a big thing there like, too was that ward just below the tri-bush from Mingos. You see this little blue spot right there. You'd think that'd be blocked by the pink ward, but it's actually giving them vision. So in that fight, they saw the Diana just walking alone. Rakan, Kha'Zix together went immediately over and able to just drop her low enough that she was forced to just play defensively, try and flash out, but it just wasn't enough. So really good awareness and good positioning to pick up that kill and really eliminate the potential for them to just get turned on and womboed by that Diana.
Yeah, and you know, sorry if anybody can't see the items right now. Items are bugged right now on the spectator client or in the stream right now. But yeah, Scion has their mythic. You have the Eclipse. You have the Leandries coming out. You have the Gale Force coming out from Tristan, and you also have a Shurelia's on the side of Rakan. And well, you have on the side of Generous Exiles a Divine Thunder being picked up for Trundle. Diana doesn't have her mythic, actually opted to rush into the Nasher's Tooth. Corki has the Shield Bow plus Muramana, and Varus has the Dustblade of Drakthar, and it looks like Flute Loops is going to be finishing up the... Is that a Aegis of Legion, or is that going to be actually a Sunfire Cape?
I'm gonna go with that's Aegis, I believe.
That's Aegis, right?
That's Aegis, which builds into Locket. I think is what he's going for here.
Yeah.
Kindle Gem does not build into Sunfire. It's Aegis plus Bambi's.
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna work on trying to fix that spectator bug very shortly. See what we can do, but just hopefully you guys can kind of see what items they have and who's winning these team fights and how much damage. You can kind of relatively tell if you guys have been playing the league long enough. What? Colbox.
He's okay.
Yeah, I think he should be fine.
Yeah. Moving this Varus into a solo lane is a little bit risky. I mean, you saw Shrelia's pop there as Gabe was kind of looking to make a play happen, but he's able to keep himself safe. Good vision, or at least just some good spidey senses, honestly, here from Fox Zero to keep himself alive here in the top lane as he hangs out alone by himself. Colbox?
Yeah,
is okay.
Colbox. Yeah, he's fine. He's chilling. He's Corki, right? He's got that Valkyrie ready. He's got Sovereign and Flute Loops in the backline as well. And really, for Degenerate's Exiles, it's just a dragon waiting game for them. They're happily stacking dragons, letting the game go later and later. And if you're on Glacial Mingo's side, it's going to get a little bit more tense once Corki and Fox Zero pick up a couple more items, pick up a little bit more damage on their ends. And Corki does a lot of damage at 3 items. He has his Muramana finish, has the Immortal Shield Bow. I assume he will be working towards a GA if he wants that survivability. Has a lot of different item branch paths here. Can go for Lord Dominic's Regard. Can go for a Wit's End if he feels like there's too much magic damage. So gonna see what he builds. Actually opts in for a Sheen.
So that'll be Essence Reaver, I believe. That's the only other Sheen mythic or Sheen non-mythic that's available. But like you said, Corki, so incredibly strong here in the mid game, and really I do feel like that as this goes on, Nick Spawn Tech, though, a great stream of Shuffle knocks back too, and here comes the rest of the squad to clean it up, but one immediately goes down. He's on the wrong side of the wall, and he gets picked up, and here comes the second Q forward from Flute Loops, as he looks dash on forward. Gabe getting low, Flute Loops gets healed by a Mumu to stay alive. Chandler Clark now in trouble. Sparius Q will not find his mark. Great Gale Force for the escape, but now Innovative Picks has found the flank. Gonna push over the wall. Pillar lands, and the Q will dissuade him from chasing any further, but the dragon is picked up, and this is now sole point for the team fighting squad that Degenerate's Exiles has built up.
Yeah, 23 and a half minutes, almost pretty much nearly 24 minutes into the game. That soul is going to end up spawning around 28 to 29 minutes, and they're going to go straight for the Baron here. Yeah, it's a good call. Adam Suki, Swantek are both down. They have the damage. They have the double ADC. They have the Diana here and the Trundle to tank it. They're going to take this relatively quickly. Not super fast, but it's going to go down before anybody knows it's on the side of Glacial Mingos.
Yeah, the teleport's just too late. Teacher Linear is here, but what can they really do? I mean, do they really want to opt into this fight? Colbox is playing towards Flute Loops, but Flute Loops is now alone in the pick, and he's got no way out. They just completely ditched him. They had the fight, but no. Everyone's just going to walk away. Amumu is the sacrificial lamb, but they get the Baron. 4 members managed to escape, and they will now try and use this. It's not over. Yeah, Slantek's going to try and continue this fight. Will force out the Chains of Corruption. Azir's soldiers will not be enough to clean him up, and now might find the poke damage, a flash forward, and some soldiers will finish off Fox Zero there on the top side. So 2 players actually end up falling in the end, as they managed to not escape entirely unscathed with this Baron call.
And this is where Glacial Mingos thrives, right? The chaotic mid game where they can try to out macro you. We've seen them do it before, right? TJ Lanier will just split until his heart's content. They'll be looking for unfair fights, looking to pick up towers where you guys, aren't really guarding it. And I never count Mingos out, right? Oh, Gabe? Okay.
He's okay.
When it gets to that mid game part or the mid to late game, I expect Mingos to just run the other team around the map and really try to pick them apart. So we're gonna see how Degenerate's Exiles fights with this lead. As Sovereign, that's a lot of damage.
Yeah, Adam Suki now very low, and TJ Linear on the teleport doesn't really want a piece of this fight. There's a turtle on the flank as well. They could look to try and collapse, but they know that they have been beat here. They're just going to walk away with their bleeding health bars. Nick Swantek went very aggressive here on the Azir. They're not getting chunked out hard by the Corki. We'll try and put up the tower, but it's too little, too late. Coldbox picks up another solo kill, and this time it's a shutdown.
It is a shutdown for them. But Swantek, he's getting pretty strong. He's got the Nashers, got the Leandries in his pocket. It just feels like Adam Suki, for his scoreline 4-3-1 isn't that bad. It just feels like I don't know how he's gonna navigate these team fights if Degenerate just group up and team fight 5v5 and just push down turrets. He does have the damage for sure if somebody's isolated, but it's kind of awkward for him to go into these team fights and really look for a pick or look for the damage, as Innovative Picks is just gonna split down this lane. He is hitting like a madman.
Yeah, that attack speed was pretty crazy there. Innovative Picks just gonna go for the tower. He doesn't care about the sign, but there's a lot of CC here. He will get the Demolish proc off, but I don't think it's enough. He's up to get it too late.
Oh, he doesn't have
He'll
the
just
time.
die under tower. Innovative Picks, what are you doing?
Yeah, I think he thought he was gonna get some extra minion damage, but if I'm correct, because it's a baroned up cannon, it doesn't get into the tower range to where minions actually decrease the armor and everything, or the health, or just the armor and magic resist. Essentially, your damage to the towers, right? Because you need minions to siege. Unfortunately, that cannon minion, because it's baroned up, doesn't get in that range. So Innovative Picks damage significantly dropped on that turret.
Coldbox in trouble. There's no tanks here for the disengage, and the Chains of Corruption come out too late. Fox Zero cannot save the Corki. Now is on the run. Sovereign. Answer. And a big ultimate. They'll land on to two. Chandler Clark and the Cosmics both pulled in here. He drops them all so low, but no one's dying. Finally, they go down. Will fall in the process as Nick Swantek comes through to get at least one trade, but he's chunked out himself.
One
and Loops is here with the Amumu base damages to clean it up, but no. Fox Zero snipes him in the back, and it is another win here for Degenerate's Exiles.
Yeah, super unlucky for Glacial Mingos. Chandler actually missed his flash over the wall. Ended up flashing into the wall. TJ Lanier, is he going to ult this? He's coming up in a little bit. He's coming a little bit.
He could have. I mean, this Varus build is not optimized for taking down tanks. That is lethality plus mana moon on those items. So not going to be able to do too much to the Scion, who's optimizing for full armor. Now actually building towards that Titanic on top of it, as well as Dragon Dust spawning at 35. This could be a decisive fight for both these teams.
Yeah, I mean, you have to believe that even if nobody goes down, if Degenerate's Exiles picks up this dragon, they're going to be able to siege. The Fox Zero poke coming out from Varus is going to hurt even that much harder. And yeah, he's not designed to take out TJ Lanier, but I mean, they can just kind of walk past him and take out the rest of your team and deal with him later. That's what's been the strategy for them going into this. And Corki has picked up his Essence Reaver, is on 3 items right now. And now, Nick Swantek picking up the MR item for Banshees here. I would say a little late. Has the TP available alongside Innovative Picks. Corki has TP up as well, but they really need their tank here. They really need Innovative, I feel, to vie for this position, because TJ Lanier is here and creating space very, very well.
I actually argue the opposite. I think that
as I say that, they leave.
Oh my god, yeah, they're just gonna get this one up. Adam Suki's gonna look for the Miracle Steal. Will get knocked up over the wall, stunned up from the... Oh my god, they dropped 3 on him! He just gets deleted, and there's a shove up the middle lane as the answer. He's gonna look to try and get towards this inhib, but they managed to pick up the soul, and it's 2 towers traded out here by Chandler Clark and the squad.
Yeah, Glacial Mingos just gave the positioning up. I felt like TJ Lanier was making pretty good space. I mean, he had the items, he has the tankiness to just kind of walk in up to them, but instead... I think they just realized that they're not going to get the positioning. They're not going to be able to get the inside track. There's just too much damage, I guess, on the side of Degenerate's Exiles. And they don't really care. Oh.
Good bush check.
No
MR. He's got no
side.
MR, but he might just have the base help and the tanky stats to try and take down this Diana. Teammate has arrived. Flute Loop's going to miss the bandage toss, but Other than that, they're just going to walk towards mid. They got the soul, and they're just going to look for this next fight as Baron now spawning in 17 seconds. They can just look to force once again.
Yeah, Glacial Mingos are really just trying to spread the map as best as they can, right? They ended up picking that mid lane turret. They have Tristana for that turret-taking power. TJ Lanier is looking a bit scary because even without any MR, Diana wasn't really hurting him that much. It's gonna take an innovative picks or Trundle subjugation to really get Sion onto that, level of, okay, I'm like paper mache right now. Like, I'm very, very not tanky. But if he gets even an inkling of MR, I feel like he can just start frontlining and tanking 4 people, and that's very scary if you're on the side of Degenerate's Exile.
Linear could be cut off by the pillar pretty hard here, and if it picks, it's just going to discontinue this push, though. I feel like he may have had an inside track there, but just going to opt out of that.
Oh,
throws. They want to take a 5v5. Oh, okay. Yep, he's drifting on in, and he's walking on out.
That's the Linear special. Just creating space with his ultimate as actually is Glacial Mingos? No, they're just clearing victory. They're not actually going to try to start it up.
Yeah, it was actually just a smart play on the top there. Sovereign just cues the Baron, and it'll start just hitting anyone near it. So they get some good poke out onto the 2 members trying to clear the wards around the pit. But man, look at that rocket on the Chandler. Everyone's just getting poked out little by little here. This Infernal Soul coming up big for this double poke-based team.
Yeah, rockets and arrows are just really going to win the team fight before it even starts, right? It's kind of unfair, especially on top of an Infernal Drake, and even TJ Lanier eating some of that poke, eating some of those rockets. A quarter of his health bar is gone now, right? I mean, he will restore it back up. He is Scion. He probably has all the health regeneration and everything like that in his runes.
Again.
Another ultimate.
Oh, just goes a little bit wide. Sovereign managing to tuck away. Now might look for the re-engage here, but they're actually just going to walk on out. They just want the Trundle split push, but it's too late. Sovereign got pulled on in. Tries to pull at the Moonfall. A 5-man potential setup here on the Chains of Corruption will land on so many. Look how low they're all dropped. They can't continue the chase, but they pick up 2. That's all they needed to do. And now they might look towards this Baron. Next one tech still just free hitting on the backside here. Knocking will start to pour into this Scion as well, so the split push on innovative picks will not find too much, but he might be able to pick up an inhib tower here as the Baron will get started up. Adam Suki and Garen into the pit. The innovative picks is then now in your base. He's just going to free hit your inhib and take this one on the bottom side. And look at the poke. There's still 2 ADCs left up available here. They're going to try and steal this one. Maybe not going to get it. 500 is the smite. TJ Linear now in the 1v1 here in the base. Empowered recalls will get back soon, so innovative picks has got to run. Side ultimate.
Another ultimate.
Not gonna land. I think it's an awfully low cooldown on that thing. What is that at this point? Say a 50-second cooldown.
Yeah, what is that? Cooldown is insane on that ultimate. Yeah, 50 seconds. He's not even building an insane amount of CDR here. I'd love to go peek into his runes, but yeah, he's just gonna be. I guess TJ Lanier is just gonna be ulting off of cooldown, and picking up that Baron delays the game, and yeah, it lets your Azir scale a little bit more. It lets your Tristana scale a little bit more, but on the flip side, you have Sovereign picking up more items. You have Colebox picking up more items. Probably opting into that rapid fire kind of is what it looks like on our end. Going for he's just picked it up, so he's 4-item Corki right now with an Infernal Soul. This guy is gonna hurt.
Yeah, I mean, really good play by the Mingos playing around this mid lane. I mean, they had 1 member in that split push. As soon as that ultimate from Sion came available again, they just immediately went for the engage, forced on that Diana. Really good play to pick off the jungler, picking up the Baron, stalls out the game, even if the gold. It's just so much for them. I mean, more importantly than anything, just taking away the Baron from the team that just that has the lead, has the poke, and just wants to siege into you. So they're not going to be able to close out this game just yet, but there is an Elder Dragon on the table as the next objective, and this fight is going to be huge.
Yeah, this fight is going to be very huge, but I'm getting word from production that we are going to fix the item bug that's happening right now. So we're going to go into a short transition, fix the item bug, and we'll be right back as we see TJ Lanier ulting going in on Sion.
Okay, yeah, so We are back. So they did lose their Scion there in the base, but still 4 members on this Baron strong and looking to try and siege something. But keep an eye on that timer. There's an Infernal Dragon spawning. Or sorry, an Elder Dragon spawning.
Elder Dragon is going to spawn, and Glacial Mingos better not just give up this position like they did last time. They do have the inside track. Innovative Picks is being a menace into that top lane. Was able to push the bottom lane inhibitor out as TPs are being channeled. I believe it's Nick Swantek coming in with his TP on the backside. And if he gets a fat flank, I mean, he's unspotted, I believe. They don't know he's there.
Yeah, this could be massive. They're not scouting this one out just yet. But keep in mind, they're against the clock here. 2 supers moving towards the base. A Trundle in the top lane as well. TG Linear has no TP to match this. So it'll just be the 4 versus 4 here as they start up the Elder. That's a lot of damage onto it already. Adam Suki in the wings for the steal. They're surrounded, but is this the fight they want? Gonna package on forward. Nick Swantek is the target. He's gonna try and follow the Corki, but he can't do it. Now all alone, it's just Gabe versus Corki here. Coldbox just forced to flash out. Elder down to half, down to smite distance, and it gets stolen away. Adam Suki manages to pick it up, and now they're in trouble. But there's a fight in the base for the entire game here as Innovative Picks is on to the Nexus Towers. But what is he doing? He's just tanking it up again. He'll drop it. Executed by the Elder. Sovereign here onto Suki, trying to trade him out. Might be able to find something here, but a flash on the Chain's Corruption will not land from Fox Zero. And that is an escaped Kha'Zix.
Adam Suki, the hero of the game here, able to win that smite fight onto Elder. And again, Degenerate's Exile trying to fight onto 2 fronts. That is not what you want to do with this team comp, and you got punished very, very handily. You saw Coldbox go for the 1v1, and that's not what you want to do. You should have used that package to go on to the Kha'Zix, force him out, allow Sovereign to not have to go for a 50-50 on the smite. And yeah, it's just Degenerate Exiles not playing to their team composition's win condition here, and Glacial Mingos might sneak out a win with this Dragon Execute.
Yeah, they've gotten 2 of the last major objectives. They've got the Elder for quite a bit longer here, and it's just a question of what can they do with it. I mean, they got 2 super minion lanes pushing in from top and bottom, so it's gonna be very hard for them to really strike anywhere on the map. They could just try and shove it up mid lane, but there is that risk. There is Innovative Picks on this Trundle who might be able to just find the TP to end the game.
Yeah, that's what he's looking for right now. TG Linear's TP is still not up, so they can probably look to push Innovative Picks, TP advantage onto either the bot lane or the mid lane, but you have to believe that if, Adam Suki, even Nick Swantek or TG Linear answers him, that Elder Dragon buff is really just gonna mess with Innovative Picks. As we do get a small disconnect coming out from Shoshana. I believe she did reconnect back in though, so we're fine here. Everything is kosher as Scion is going to answer the Super Marines in the bot lane. So now only 1 inhibitor down. That is in the top lane. It looks like Kha'Zix is just clearing minions, or he's just hiding, looking for somebody, waiting to assassinate somebody.
I think just clearing out that wave. I mean, if you can just eliminate these supers and prevent the pushing side lanes, you can try and go from these mid lane fights, but the timer on this Elder is ticking, and the window for Mingos is slowly closing as once this is off of them, I mean, there's still an Infernal Soul they have to fight through to try and claim any further objectives.
Yeah, and I doubt Coldbox will be making the same mistake twice, right? He won't probably be packaging on, oh my god!
Okay. Alright, Amzuki. I respect it. Just dashing forward to land that. Oh my god! Out of nowhere, Coldbox pulls out the op and just assassinates Nick Swantek.
Yeah, goes for the 360 no-scope, and yeah, just kills him, right? 2 rockets. That guy ate 2 rockets. One of them was a big one of them was a regular rocket. As Glacial Mingos, with a member down, they're gonna start this Baron?
They just lost Elder as well, so they have nothing going for them here. This is a 4 versus 5, and the team is collapsing. See what they can do to get into the fight. Sovereign does not land the Q. So no immediate dash forwards. Flute Loops on the zone here. This Baron just starts to drop already at half. They have the jungler available to try and steal this one away. They managed to do it once. A 3-man knockup, a 4-man knockup! Oh! Just throw it on the cleanup as well. Here comes the recess. Triple kill for Chandler Clark. What do you get from TG Linear? I cannot believe they stole everything away there. Baron did go over to Degenerate's Exiles, but everything else goes up in favor of the Mingos.
What did I just see there? That was a fantastic engage from TJ Lanier. A 4-man knockup. Chandler Clark was able to get the AoE out, get the bombs going, get the autos untouched, and in a fight when they were down 1 man, Glacial Mingos shows no fear. A perfect setup for them, and the team fight comp that was supposed to win in that Baron pit lost immediately. They lost emphatically. I think a quadra kill was picked up for Chandler Clark, almost a penta, and now that is a huge swing. Innovative Picks the only one with Baron here. Let's see, he can be the hero for this team. Has been splitting pretty much all game. 355 CS, has the most in the game. Whew!
40
That
minutes
turned on its head. That turned on its head.
That was, I did not see it coming. It was the only way they win that fight, right? Crazy knockups out of Gabe and DJ Linear to clean it up, and they did just that. 1 man down, does not matter. They managed to claim the fight, but again, the game's not over yet. We still have 2 live Nexuses, only 1 inhibitor down across the map right now. And again, we might be seeing a second Elder, which is, I feel like, such a rare treat in League of Legends.
I mean, if you're in my solo queue games, it's not. As we see, second Elder, yeah, coming up in about a minute, right? And we have to believe, Sopan, we have to believe the game is going to end on whoever gets this, whatever wins this team fight, because death timers are extremely long here. Yeah. They're around the 50-second mark.
I kind of feel like Degenerate's Exiles is losing a grasp on their win condition. They don't want to actually really play for these objectives. Yes, it's really nice to have the Elder in your pocket, but they're playing too hard to try and burn down one of these objectives rather than just turning for the fight. If Flute Loops had just stood out, looked for the Mimic ultimates to start off the engagement, I feel like they could have just turned around and won a 4 versus 5 fight. On that last 100%. Elder Dragon as well, they had the chance to try and look for the turn onto one side, but they kind of split up, had one or two members hitting Dragon, 1 member chasing off towards Nick Swantek, and they lost the fight. I need to see the 5v5 happen, but right here, they got the Trundle in the top lane. They're going for the split push play, and we'll have to see if it pays off. They did force it back into Nick Swantek. Elder spawning in 2 seconds here, and they got a lot of damage here on this team comp.
Trundle can 1v1 Swantek here. If he has his flash up, well, unfortunately he doesn't, but yeah, it's very scary because it's not like Swantek is a tank or anything, and Innovative Picks did build a lot of damage, has the Hull Breaker intel, so he actually doesn't want to group.
Fruit Loop! So the side Mummy lands, and Gabe is blown up. Fruit Loops is into the fight. Adam Suki will pick him up. It's a 1-for-1 trade. Both supports go down. No engage left for either of these teams, as now it's Trundle on the flank, looking to try and find a fight, but he's left all alone. Innovative Picks just sprinting around in the jungle, trying to make the escape path up, and Adamsuki will land the slow, tries to pop him back, but Nick Swantek is here to continue the follow up, almost finds the kill there on Adamsuki, chasing them away. The subjugate, the takes of damage will pick him up, and now it's a 3 versus 5 here in the jungle. We'll have to see if they can win this fight anyways. They managed to climb back once. I don't doubt they can do it again. Chandler Clark is the hero to do it. Dashing forward will find the kill onto the enemy top laner, and that is 1 member down. 3 versus 4 now here. Swantek and Chandler Clark and TJ Linear. Can you pull this one off? Oh my god, Nick Swantek almost gets deleted. They have started up the Elder as well. TJ Linear and Chandler Clark, 2 versus 4. They don't have the knockup, they don't have the engage. They're forced out. Elder goes over, and now they're going to do the chase here as Colbox wants to pick up a few more kills. Chandler Clark over the wall here. Might just look for this one, dashing out forward, actually aggressing here into the Elder Dragon. No! It's going to happen. Sovereign's on the side, and here comes the rest of the team on top of it as well. Chandler Clark pops in out of the GA, pops out once again. Nick Swantek with the disengage onto Sovereign, able to keep himself alive, but not his teammates. And there is a single recon in the base as Nick Swantek looks for the disengage. Should be able to get away from this one.
These fights are not bad. These fights are not bad at all. These are so messy, though. It's 2 kills here, a kill here, 1 guy here dies in the jungle, and now somebody has Elder, but I don't even think that matters so bad. Glacial Mingos show no fear. TJ Linear ulting into an Elder Dragon team and really just creating that space for Chandler Clark. The key cooldowns that are gone, though, is that Guardian Angel on Chandler Clark's side, and it feels like whenever either of these teams try to go for any burst, they live with some shield, they live with some, either it's an item shield, or in Swantek's case, it was his E shield that he got, and was able to live out and do so much more damage. But these fights are so messy, and yeah, it's I don't even think Elder Dragon matters.
Yeah, I mean, it will help execute and will certainly just delete this team. I mean, on top of enhancing just the fact that they have this or have the Infernal Soul, just insanely powerful team, right? All around. I mean, at this point, not much they can do to really try and fight into this team composition. They will go for this Baron one more time. 30 seconds on the clock for the spawn. We'll have to see if they can pull off another miracle team fight. But Mingos, they've pulled out all their tricks. Can they do it one more time?
It's gonna be a miracle engage from TJ Lanier. It has to be, you know, a 4 or 5 man knock up into, you know, the Rakan engage. You have to believe Degenerate's Exiles is only gonna start this Baron up just so they can get an engage. I doubt they will make that same mistake of just staying in the pit all 5. Flute Loops, like you said, has to just be on the outside zoning, looking for a 3 to 4 man Curse of the Sad Mummy. I mean, even if one member dies, it feels like, you know, Glacial Mingos is still willing to take the fight. It feels like Degenerate Exile is still willing to take the fight. Both of these teams are playing very, very fearless, and it's working out for both of them on different ends.
Keep in mind, they can just play time here. They got super minions in the bottom lane. They're just kind of posting up. Neither team willing to cross the line. Will be TJ Lanier just eating some fruit, I guess?
He likes berries, man.
Yeah, gotta get those gains. No one willing to start up this Baron just yet. They did get a ward down on top of the not quite spawning out the pit, but they will spot out anyone who tries to just walk into it. But here comes the teleport.
For the game end!
He'll come from just on a Taylor Clark on the side, but look at the turret.
Oh, he's shredding them!
Up in the points as well. Teleport coming in from TJ Lanier to try and stall this one out. He gets 2 turrets. He's on to the Nexus. Innovative Picks is just looking to close out the game. Can he do it? He misses it. Innovative Picks just teleports to end the game. They played the time. They played their clock. They don't need to play the Baron. And finally, Degenerate's Exiles pick up their win against Glacial Mingos.
That was an insane TP coming out from Innovative Pigs. That whole breaker trundle, he was just melting those turrets. He was also able, I think he lived there because he was able to steal.
For the second seed